Stop writing, please. We're still on financial sector. Today we want to talk about, the previous class we talked about interest rate, which is the price of money. That means the price you get for saving a certain amount of money into your account, and the price you pay because you have borrowed money from the financial institution. That is what interest rate is. Today we want to focus on equilibrium interest rate. Whenever we hear equilibrium, it simply means there's interaction and there's a matching between demand and supply. That is what equilibrium is about. Do you get my point or not? So at any point in time, stop writing please. At any point in time you hear about equilibrium, it simply means the demand for and the supply of agrees. They both agree, they both equal. That is what equilibrium is. So for equilibrium rate of interest, I wrote, it is a theoretical interest rate at which the supply of money or loanable funds, which is still money, matches the demand for money. Down. Take hands off your hand. Yes. Matches the demand for money. So it means the supply of meets with the demand for. Then it puts the economy in a balanced situation. That is what equilibrium rate of interest is. So whenever the rate of interest is at equilibrium, it simply means the demand for and the supply of are matched. They are equal. Do we get equilibrium interest rate here? Do we understand equilibrium interest rate? Good. So it can be graphically represented as this. So this is equilibrium. The demand for money, the supply of money, they meet at this point. Yes or no? So there's intersection here. So this point is what we call the equilibrium rate of interest. Do we understand? Yeah. Hello? You are better focus and hold that. There's equilibrium rate of interest where the demand for money and the supply of money intersect. This is equilibrium. Any question about equilibrium here? Good. What happens to the change? As well, one thing is this: the only constant in life is change itself. So it simply means every now and then things will have to change. The last year was not the same year as this year. Things have changed. Some teachers have gone, some teachers are in, and that's how changes are. Some students are gone, some students are in, that's changing. So every now and then nothing will remain the same. So it is for us to, to be able to adapt to these changes, which is very, very important. So the rate of interest is somewhat fixed because the central bank of the country will make a fixed interest rate. But as soon as the interest rate is fixed, economic situation will change. So as soon as the economic situation changes, this will make the central bank or come up with a policy, a monetary policy that will be able to adjust to the changes in the economy. The economy will change. As soon as the economy changes, if it's positive, the policy will be adjusted towards that positivity. If it is negative, the policy will be adjusted to correct the negativity. Are you guys get what I'm saying here? Do you get it or not?
Yes.
What I'm saying in essence is this. Whatever economic situation we find ourselves as a country, as an economy, if it is a market failure, government would have to intervene to change things to become positive. So there's always going to be adjustments made in every situation. So that takes us to changes in the rate of interest. Here it is fixed. The supply is fixed, right? And the interest rate is certain. Changes in the rate of interest. As soon as the central bank increases the supply of money, something has changed. The central bank of Libya has increased the supply of money. And when supply exceeds demand, what happens? Price falls. Because that is excess, yes or no? Do we get it or not?
Yes.
The law of supply. The higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. There's excess supply. When there's excess supply, it simply means the price has fallen. Excess supply means supply exceeds demand. Supply is greater than demand. And if supply is greater than demand, the price is expected to fall. So the price that is falling here is the price of money, which is what? The interest rate. That's why I said the interest rate is what? The price of money. Are we getting it? Are we together? Great. So here, there's a situation, which means the supply of money has increased from S1 to S2. As soon as the supply of money increases from S1 to S2, it is expected that the rate of interest drops or falls from our rate of interest 1 to rate of interest 2. Because the quantity of money has increased from Q1 to Q2. Please get the point here. These are the changes that will occur that will bring about a fall in the rate of interest. A fall in the rate of interest means the supply of money has increased within the economy. The quantity of money, this is the quantity of money, this is the rate of interest. As soon as the central bank of a country think about expanding money supply, that is expansionary monetary policy. So as soon as the central bank of Libya thinks about supplying more currencies, more money into the Libyan economy, that would increase the supply of money from S1 to S2. That means the quantity of money in Libya has increased from Q1 to Q2. This will bring about a fall in the rate of interest from our rate of interest 1 to rate of interest 2. Do we understand the situation here? This situation occurs because there's an increase in the supply of money. Any question about these changes? The first thing we talked about is equilibrium. Equilibrium occurs where the demand for and the supply of money have an interaction or equal. Then as soon as there is a change in the money supply, note, demand cannot exist supply because the central bank is the one supplying money. So money flows through the central bank, yes or no? We don't decide how much we spend in terms of, we don't decide money supply. The central bank of the country decides money supply. Are you guys with me? So because the central bank decided to expand money supply in Libya, it simply means there's much money in supply in supply of money in Libya. As soon as that happens, the supply shifts rightward. The quantity of money increased, the rate of interest falls. Any question about this? Great. Now that takes us to the last note about interest rates, which is liquidity trap. There's liquidity trap because the rate of interest has fallen below equilibrium. So one thing is this, a low interest rate discourages what? Saving. A low interest rate discourages saving. If I have to save my money, stop writing this. If I have to save my money in the bank and all I'm going to get is a very low interest rate, it doesn't make sense. It's not profitable for me. So I would rather keep my money, spend it, than to save it. So a low interest rate increases spending than saving. Does it make sense?
Yes.
A high interest rate increases saving than spending. So if the central bank, if the government of our country wants to reduce spending, probably let's talk about inflation. Inflation is a persistent rise in price of goods and services, right? So if government wants to correct inflation, government can use interest rates to correct inflation. We call it contractional monetary policy. Contractional monetary policy, which simply means the government of Libya would increase the interest rates, which means people will not have any reason to keep money, rather they would want to what? Save. Because it is profitable to save at that point in time. Same goes to here. It is not profitable to save at this point. So people would rather keep their money, hold on to it, than to put it in the bank or to invest in it, because it does not make sense at that point in time as a rational consumer. Are we getting it, guys? Are we together here? Great. Okay. So that situation that doesn't warrant you to start thinking about saving your money because the interest rate is low is called liquidity trap. So money is trapped somewhere. Money is not flowing. Nobody sees the money. Everybody keeps their money because it is not ideal, it is not profitable to keep it or to save it in the bank. So there's liquidity trap. Liquidity means having access to money. Liquid means money. But here, there's liquidity trap because people do not have, money is not flowing within the economy. People keep it. So they start spending rather than saving. Mostly they spend on importation, and that will bring about what we call demand pull inflation. Demand pull inflation. Because a low interest rate warrants you to keep money than to save. So money that you have here, you will spend it, yes or no? So demand increases within the economy. So liquidity trap will bring about demand pull inflation, not a fall in the interest rate. There's an expansion here from S1 to S2, yes or no? Yes. But we said as soon as the money supply, focus here please. As soon as the money supply increases from S1 to S2, it is expected that the rate of interest falls, right? But before that, the rate of interest is already low. Look at it, it is low before now. So we cannot change the rate of interest anymore. So the only thing that will happen here, based on the fact that there's an increase in money supply, is that there's going to be inflation. So liquidity trap will bring about inflation, not a fall in the interest rate. Are they the same? Are they the same?
No.
Both have an increase in supply. But here there's a low equilibrium already. So you cannot further reduce the equilibrium or the interest rate because it is already at low. So here, it means people have money enough with them. So they start spending on importation, bringing about demand pull inflation. But at this point, there's a fall in the interest rate based on the fact that the money supply has increased, the quantity of money available in the economy has also increased. But in a situation where we have a low interest rate, like the economy is running on the low interest rate, an increase in the supply of money would not reduce the interest rate anymore. It would affect the price of goods and services because demand within the economy would have increased. And that would bring about liquidity trap. Do you understand liquidity trap here?
Yeah.
This is liquidity trap because there's a lot of money in supply, but people keep it, they don't spend it. They don't save it, they rather spend. They are not investing. And that would lead to inflation. But an increase in money supply, where we have a stable interest rate, will reduce the interest rate and increase the quantity of money in circulation. Any question about equilibrium interest rate? There's equilibrium, which means demand fall and supply of money are equal or matches. There's a fall in the interest rate based on the fact that the supply of money has increased and the quantity of money in circulation has increased. That brings about a fall in interest rate. There's a liquidity trap because there's an increase in money supply, but interest rate is still at low. So we cannot further reduce the interest rate. It simply means people have enough money with them to spend than to save. And that will bring about demand pull inflation. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Any question about this? Thank you.